Hey everybody, it's Chris and welcome back to Cosmic Culture, the channel where we talk all major movie and television news, theories, breakdowns, and much more. I'm your host Chris, and all day yesterday on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Reddit, TikTok, we were talking about the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness new TV spot trailer that had a ton of dialogue and footage for us to go through. And there's one part in particular that we're going to talk about today that I think we need to maybe figure out what it is exactly we are seeing. And that is this demon, we'll call him for lack of a better term, this henchman, this character who was introduced in the trailer. There are a lot of guesses out there, and most people kind of are hoping or believing that it is Cthulhu, the elder god from the comics who traps his soul into the Darkhold. Well, I have a few other ideas, and maybe I've noticed something you didn't see in the trailer which makes me believe otherwise. So let's dive into who this character could be and why maybe it isn't who you think it is. First, of course, the shameless plug. Subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and check me out on Instagram at Chris M. Rosser and on Twitter at TheCultureChris. Also, while we're at it, comment down below and let me know what you're most excited for in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. For me personally, I'm most excited for the interchanging storyline that we will be getting. This is a huge stepping stone in the MCU, not just for Phase 4, but for the entirety of Marvel, and they really have an open door here. They can pick what they want to do moving forward, and because of the multiverse and the vast expansion and explanation of what it is, they honestly can go whatever direction they want. If they want to destroy the MCU as we know it, completely delete our timeline and move all of the key characters to a different one, they could. Now, I'm not saying that's what that is going to happen, and it's pretty extreme, but they have options. So, what are you most excited to see, and what do you hope happens for the future as we nourish the MCU? Now, let's talk about this character right here. Red eyes, big ugly face, rather tall as we can see him standing here next to Wong and Wanda. But who are they? The first thing the internet exploded into thinking about was, well, this looks a lot like a version of Cthulhu from the comics. And honestly, those people are not wrong, but I have a few issues with this. Number one, there are two of them. In the extended trailer, if you only saw the one that was released on Twitter or Instagram, Marvel's YouTube released the full extended version where you can see on the sides, and when they pan from Wong to Wanda, you see the demon behind Wong, and then again another one behind Wanda. Now it is the multiverse, and it is possible that there could be a variant of Cthulhu, or who knows what kind of craziness is going on, but I'm going to go ahead and say it's very unlikely that if they introduce Cthulhu, they're going to introduce several different versions of him. It's going to be a new character that a lot of people haven't heard of already, and I think it'll be very difficult to follow if there are many versions of him running around. But I won't completely discredit that yes, it is a possibility there are more than one Cthulhu's, because we're dealing with the multiverse, so who knows, maybe it's kind of like a He Who Remains kind of deal, where all of them meet together and they plot their revenge on the planet Earth, and then you have Kang the Conqueror, and He Who Remains created this massive universe in order to stop them all from coming, and that was the TVA, and now He Who Remains is gone, and here comes Kang. Well, maybe that's what the Darkhold was. Maybe a good version of Cthulhu created the Darkhold to trap all of the bad versions of Cthulhu, and now there's tons of them, and they're all running around because Wanda has freed them, which would almost follow what we get in the comics. If you aren't aware, we'll talk just briefly. I'm not going to dive into the deep details of who Cthulhu is. As I mentioned, he's an elder god, so very old character in Marvel actually as well, who, with other gods, was running the earth and the world and the universe for a time there. They were good at the time, but then they all ended up becoming bad. Now, these gods were all taken care of and defeated and destroyed, but Cthulhu managed to escape, and then he trapped himself, his conscious as being of sorts, inside the Darkhold. Now, he did this by writing on indestructible paper, and the comic's really kind of crazy and a lot of fun to read, but he's trapped inside the Darkhold. In a ton of different versions and runs with Cthulhu, he ends up escaping through Wanda, which is what a lot of people are thinking is lining up here. Well, maybe Wanda is allowing Cthulhu to escape by her use of the Darkhold, or even as being manipulated by it, by Cthulhu who's trying to escape. The way that they actually want to go through this and the value and the actual use of the Darkhold, it's way open-ended. They could go any direction with any creature in any way that they want to. So keep that in mind, although yes, in the comics, Wanda is manipulated of sorts by the Darkhold and releases Cthulhu. That does not mean that has to happen in the movie. But regardless, it is a part of comic history, and that's where most of the people are getting the ideas that this character is Cthulhu. I'm still thrown off by the fact that there are two of them, and by the fact that I just don't think this would be released in a teaser trailer. the odds are we're going to be getting one more final 2.5 to 3 minute long trailer that will have another major reveal. And if it's Cthulhu, well, that's really awesome. But I don't think you're getting that in a teaser trailer with no direction towards it. There's not enough hype, not enough excitement for a marketing team to release that major of a character, and nobody really even knows for sure what it is. Now, that happened with Patrick Stewart in a main trailer, and everybody knew exactly what was going on. But with Cthulhu, I still think there's not enough awareness or excitement for him to be that major a reveal in a little TV spot trailer, or even in a trailer at all. So I would expect that this character will be hidden until the very end of the movie when he's released and teased as a future character we're going to have to deal with. Nobody knows who he is, it won't be that exciting. And by nobody, I really don't mean anybody here on this channel. Anybody watching Marvel YouTube channels probably knows exactly who most of, if not all of these characters are. Some of you guys know them even better than I do, and I'll be the first to admit that. But you also have to keep in mind, a good majority of the fans of Marvel are not the intense super fans, but they're casual viewers who have to be convinced to go watch Marvel movies, who don't know every detail about the comics, and if you sit down and say, hey, here's Cthulhu, they're not going to know what that means. So we have to keep it user-friendly for those casual viewers, because that's what Marvel's about. Everybody can be involved, everybody can know that what's going on, and then us, the super nerds, get to talk about it here on the channel. So keep that in mind as you're thinking, well, I know who Cthulhu is, and everybody knows who Cthulhu is, because the casual viewer, I guarantee you, does not. On top of that, I've had a lot of people in my comment section say it looks like Man-Thing. It could be a demon that Wanda has just created and is using to fight against whoever it is she's fighting in the sequence, whether it's Doctor Strange and America Chavez or the Illuminati, wherever it be. This does look like a different location from the Illuminati temple that we saw, and we do have a plot leak which says that they're trying to get to the center of the multiverse. So perhaps that's exactly what's happening here. They're at the center of the multiverse. There was even one other theory out there that said that she's defending the Temple of the Darkhold, which could be where she's residing. There was another plot leak, and I'll throw out more plot leaks. These are ones that I think are pretty, useful to hear, especially because if they end up being true, it gives us an idea of the deeper purpose of the movie. But remember, these are plot leaks, it's not all real. However, there is a plot leak that says the apple orchard where she's remaining isn't actually the location that it appears, but she has a hex on it, and when that hex goes away, we see a terribly ominous and scary castle where she's residing. So this could also be that castle that's at that orchard location, and in the trailer we do see images that appear to be the apple orchard location looking very pretty, and then that exact same location with branches looking red and dark and a lot scarier, more fitting the Scarlet Witch's current tone. But no, we definitely have a ton of questions about what's happening in Multiverse of Madness, and as much as I like to think we know a ton about the film, there's so much that we don't know. We have a ton of theories and rumors and fan castings for people who should play cameos, and yeah, we heard about Professor X coming well before we even saw him in the trailer through some leaked conceptual art. However, in the main scheme of things, I don't think we know the ending or where this is bringing us in the MCU, so I'm really excited to find all of that out, as I'm sure most of, if not all of you guys are as well. Major stepping stone moments in the MCU, not just for Phase 4, but for the future, so let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below. Is it Cthulhu? Is it somebody else? Or are these just random demons that Wanda's using her Darkhold tricks to bring out and help her in a fight? I personally, I'm going to say, believe that these are random demons that Wanda's pulling out to help her in a fight. She's mastered some stuff in the Darkhold,